In the distant future, humanity has spread across the solar system. But wherever people go, crime, loneliness, and forgotten dreams follow. Among the countless bounty hunters traveling through this dangerous frontier is Spike Spiegel, a calm and mysterious man with messy green hair, sharp eyes, and a past he refuses to discuss. Spike lives aboard the spaceship Bebop with his partner Jet Black, a former police officer who has become his closest companion despite their constant arguments. Their lives revolve around one simple goal: finding criminals with bounties on their heads and collecting enough money to survive. Yet behind their casual conversations and dangerous missions lies a deeper story that neither man is willing to reveal. Spike moves through life as if nothing truly matters, but his relaxed smile hides memories of violence, betrayal, and a woman named Julia. Before becoming a bounty hunter, Spike was involved with the Red Dragon Crime Syndicate, a powerful criminal organization that controlled much of his old life. He once believed he could escape that world with Julia, the woman he loved, but their relationship became dangerous when Vicious, another member of the syndicate and Spike's bitter rival, discovered their connection. Julia was forced to choose between protecting herself and remaining with Spike, and eventually she disappeared from his life. Spike survived, but part of him remained trapped in that forgotten past. Years later, he travels the galaxy pretending that he has already moved on. Jet, meanwhile, carries his own scars from his years as a police officer and from the betrayal that destroyed his former relationship. Together, they chase criminals through crowded cities, abandoned colonies, casinos, deserts, and distant planets, often finding themselves involved in situations far more complicated than the original bounty. Their adventures introduce them to unusual characters and dangerous enemies. But everything changes when a young thief named Faye Valentine becomes part of their lives. Faye is clever, unpredictable, heavily armed, and determined to survive at any cost. She initially treats everyone around her as an opportunity. But beneath her confidence is a woman who has lost her memories and cannot understand the world that has changed without her. The Bebop gradually becomes a strange family of damaged people, including the brilliant hacker Edward and a remarkably intelligent dog named Ein. None of them truly admits how much they need one another. They argue, separate, return, and continue moving forward, always pretending that their temporary life together means nothing. But the past refuses to disappear. Spike eventually learns that Vicious has risen within the Red Dragon Syndicate and has become one of its most powerful figures. Their conflict is no longer something Spike can avoid. As the bounty hunters continue their dangerous journeys, Spike begins moving closer toward the life he once abandoned, knowing that confronting Vicious may cost him everything. The Bebop crew can sense that something is changing, but Spike refuses to explain. For him, the past is not a memory. It is a shadow waiting for the right moment to return. And as the stars continue shining over the lonely worlds of the future, Spike walks toward the fate he has been trying to escape, unaware that every step is bringing him closer to the final confrontation with the man who destroyed his old life. As Spike continues traveling aboard the Bebop, the crew becomes increasingly tangled in the unfinished stories of their pasts. Faye Valentine, despite her confident attitude and habit of chasing money, slowly discovers that her greatest mystery is her own identity. She was placed into suspended animation after an accident and awakened many years later, finding herself in a future where everyone she once knew was gone and the world she remembered had changed completely. With no reliable memories of her childhood, Faye searches for clues about who she was before the accident. Her search eventually leads her toward old recordings and forgotten locations connected to her past, forcing her to confront the painful truth that she has no place left in the life she once remembered. Meanwhile, Edward, the eccentric young hacker, brings energy and chaos to the Bebop. Although Edward appears carefree and strange, she possesses extraordinary intelligence and becomes essential whenever the crew needs information that cannot be obtained through ordinary methods. Ein also remains a loyal companion, often appearing more intelligent than the humans around him. Together, this unlikely group continues hunting bounties but their missions repeatedly reveal deeper emotional wounds. Jet encounters people from his former life and is reminded of the corruption and betrayal that ended his career as a police officer. His search for justice often conflicts with his desire for peace, yet he continues helping others because he understands what it means to lose everything. Spike, however, remains the most mysterious member of the crew. He rarely speaks honestly about his emotions, choosing instead to joke, smoke, eat, and walk casually into dangerous situations. His fighting ability is extraordinary, combining martial arts, speed, precision, and an almost reckless willingness to face death. Yet Spike's greatest weakness is not an enemy. It is his inability to release the past. The memory of Julia continues to haunt him, and whenever her name appears, the calm mask he wears begins to disappear. Eventually, the conflict with the Red Dragon Syndicate becomes unavoidable. Vicious, consumed by ambition and hatred, challenges the leadership of the organization and begins eliminating anyone who stands in his way. His relationship with Spike is deeply personal because both men once belonged to the same criminal world and loved the same woman. Spike had once planned to leave the syndicate with Julia, believing that they could begin a new life together. Instead, circumstances separated them, and Spike was forced to live as though he had died and been reborn. Now Vicious has become a symbol of everything Spike tried to escape. When Spike finally learns that Julia may still be alive, his entire attitude changes. For the first time, his journey is no longer about collecting a bounty or surviving another day. He wants to find the woman he lost and discover whether the life he abandoned can somehow be recovered. Julia, however, has spent years hiding from the syndicate, knowing that returning to Spike could expose them both to deadly danger. Their reunion is brief and fragile, but it awakens feelings that neither can ignore. At the same time, the Red Dragon Syndicate closes in, determined to eliminate every threat to its power. Spike understands that protecting Julia means confronting Vicious directly. Jet and Faye can see that Spike is preparing to leave the Bebop, but they cannot stop him. Their strange family begins breaking apart as each member faces a different path. Edward eventually leaves with Ein to search for her father, while Faye discovers that the truth about her past cannot restore the life she lost. Jet remains behind, watching the people he cares about disappear one by one. Spike, meanwhile, prepares for the final journey. He knows that his confrontation with Vicious may end with his death, but he also knows that running forever is no longer possible. With the Bebop behind him and the memories of Julia guiding him forward, Spike walks directly toward the Red Dragon Syndicate, determined to settle the past once and for all.